China Grant versus Larry D&L Johnson Jr. The ex parte or the petition was filed in this case on March 30th of 2023, and the ex parte order was issued on April 6th of 2023 and filed on April 7th of this year. And service was perfected on April 10th. At this point, I understand the parties did attempt to reach a resolution through the facilitator and were unable to do so. So I do appreciate your efforts in trying to do so. I will just remind any viewers and parties that this hearing is not, there is no recordings allowed during these hearings. Any unauthorized recording will be subject to possibly criminal contempt consequences. And this hearing will be brought down once we are completed with the hearing. So what's going to happen is I will first call the petitioner and give her a chance because she has the burden in the case after I've sworn both of the parties. And the petitioner will have a chance to tell the court why she filed for this order of protection and feels like she needs it going forward, and present any evidence or witnesses she wishes to. And then I will hear from the respondent, who will, sir, I'm going to need you to have your face on the camera at all times so I know you're with us, who will then be able to give any testimony and present any witnesses or evidence that he wishes to. I will give the parties a chance to ask questions of me to ask the other party, so there's no direct back and forth since these are highly emotional situations. And I do ask that the parties remain civil at all times. Shaking your head or nodding back and forth or laughing in the background is not appropriate, and it won't make me believe the other party's testimony any more or less, and may make me actually have concerns about behavior. So with all of that in mind, at this point, I'm going to ask that both of you unmute and raise your right hands. All right. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury, Ms. Grant?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, and Mr. Johnson already said yes, ma'am, as well. So, all right, thank y'all. We'll lower your hands. I'm going to mute the other parties while one party is speaking, just so we can hear everything clearly. It's under this platform. And I ensure you once one party's done, you may have an opportunity to ask me the questions, like I said, of the other party, or you may just choose to wait and just let the court know what you want the court to know when it's your turn. You will have the option of doing both. So at this point, Ms. Grant, can you, well, there we go. Tell the court how you know Mr. Johnson.
I met Larry 2021 at McDonald's. We used to work there, and the work relationship escalated to 2022 into an intimate relationship.
All right. And how long would you say y'all how long were y'all in an intimate relationship?
6 months going on 7.
Okay. And did that relationship end at any point?
Yes.
All right. Around when was that?
It ended in November of 2022.
Okay. And I think you noted in your petition that you are pregnant. Is that right?
Yes, I was.
Okay. So were y'all living together at the time? Or have you, at some point during the relationship, were y'all living together?
Yes.
All right. About how long did y'all live together?
For about, we started living together in May, maybe.
All right. And until when?
Until October 30th.
Okay. And do y'all have a child together?
Yes, ma'am.
When was the child born?
April 1st, 2023.
All right. And what's the let's see. And so it was filed 2 days or a few days after this petition, your initial petition was filed?
I'm sorry?
The child was born just after you filed the petition in this case?
Yes.
All right. Okay, and just, was that child included? I'm just looking to see if that child was included in the ex parte order. It was. Okay, perfect. All right, so I do see that. Okay, so tell the court why you filed this petition on March 30th.
I filed this petition March 30th because Larry has been coming up to my house, coming up to my job, and harassing folks and harassing me and my family members as well. And he's also been on social media trying to get in contact with me by harassing my family members that's in New York, harassing my friends that are here in Georgia as well.
Okay, so at some point, did you tell, when y'all stopped seeing each other in October, did you, let me ask you this, what prompted the end of the relationship?
He wouldn't leave me alone after I kept telling him that I just needed some space to be alone for a minute. And then when I had a little bit of space to myself, he decided to create a fake page to pretend to be his first baby mother. And we was going back and forth on Instagram because I thought that I was speaking to his first baby mother when I was actually speaking to him.
How
And
did
he
you
was
find out
texting
it was him?
he called like an hour after the argument happened
What
on that
argument?
same page.
Tell me about the argument.
The argument escalated because we was talking about, he was like, oh, so you're the other baby mother. And he was getting real nasty with it. And it was like up to the point where threats was being exchanged. And I was just like, I can't deal with this no more. So after that, that's what really ticked me off when he created that fake page. None of this would have been happening if he didn't create that fake page.
Well, tell me about, like, did he admit to creating the fake page?
Yes, he did.
Did he say why he did it?
He said he said why he did because he was like, why didn't you just tell me all of this before? Why didn't you express how you feel? And I was like, I've been doing that. It's just not comprehending to him.
So did you tell him at some point you did not want to have any contact with him?
Yes, I've told him that multiple times.
And so when he has shown up, you said he showed up at your work. Like,
Yes.
how often and where was that? And how did that go?
He shows up at my job November 14th. He showed up at my job and he wrote a note saying, why did you change your Instagram name back? And he was like, so you want to be a hoe again? And I was like, no, that's not the case. And then I ended up crying my eyes out at work. And then fast forward, he still comes up to my job and starts harassing folks saying, oh, is she here? Is such and such here? Like, and I
So
told them, don't say anything.
tell me around when, approximately when were those times?
Let's see. It was two times in January. And it was another time in February. And then March, he had stopped. Like in March, after the first week of March, he had stopped.
All right. You said he was reaching out to your family members. Can you give me an idea of kind of when and how often that happened?
He would reach out to my cousin in New York around December and November, explaining to them that he's sorry and that he wants to get in contact with me. He recently got in contact with one of my friends, and that was, I want to say, March, sometime in March. And he specifically told her, saying, "Tell that bitch I got her child support money, but I don't want to go to court."
All right, you mentioned something in your petition about a threat to you. Can you tell me what that was?
Yes, it was Wednesday night. I think it was I think it was in no, I think it was in October sometime. He had climbed on top of me and oh god, inside of a 2000 Chevrolet Tahoe truck and threatened to kill my unborn and said that he said, "You got me effed up if you think I'm gonna bring an unborn child into this world with you and you acting like a little girl."
So how were you feeling at that point?
I was just heartbroken, scared, and shocked. I was just like, if you supposed to be in love with somebody like that, then why what makes you say that? Like why would you even say that?
And when you say he climbed on top of you, where were you in the car?
I was in the driver's seat.
And how did how did he climb on top of you? Where was he?
He
Where did he
was in
come
the
from?
front, he was in the passenger seat.
And what was going on right before that happened?
We was having an argument about my first baby father.
All right. What is the last contact you've had from him?
I'm sorry?
What's the last contact you had from him?
Since I've spoken to him,
Yeah, what's the last contact you've had or someone saying he's trying to reach out to you?
um, since me and him spoken, it was sometime in November. That's the last time I verbally spoke to him. But when he was getting in contact with my friends and family, it was the in March, sometime in March.
Okay, when's the last time he showed up at your work?
Um, probably probably February, because I didn't see him come up there in March when I was working.
And tell the court why you feel like you need this order of protection going forward.
I feel like he's very dangerous. He doesn't know how to keep his anger under control. And whenever he gets angry, he starts lashing out. And it's very emotional because all the things that he's done and said to me during my pregnancy, I had to go through that by myself.
So before the time he climbed on top of you in the car, had there been any other incidents that placed you in fear?
Yes.
Tell me about those.
It was one incident before I was even pregnant. We was on Candler Road and he smacked me and I fell to the ground. And mind you, I was holding my firstborn and she was barely a year. And it's been multiple incidents since when I wasn't pregnant, we have gotten into multiple fights.
Had he ever been arrested for any of those? Or
I'm
anybody?
sorry?
Had either of you ever been arrested for any of those?
No.
Was anybody, when you got smacked to the ground, where were you on Candler Road?
I was at
Anybody else around when that happened?
no, ma'am.
Do you have any injuries from that incident?
No, ma'am.
And what was going on right before that happened?
We was just having another petty argument. I can't even remember what the argument was about.
All right. Okay. Did you submit any evidence or have any witnesses or anything else you would like the court to hear from?
Can I submit the evidence to the Women's Resource Center? Because all
No,
of it
it
is
has,
on my phone.
so when you got the notice, the ex parte order, the notice in the back had instructions on how to upload any evidence. Where the Zoom link was in the back, there is an email order, I mean, an email address that you can send stuff to. If you have stuff that you think you want the court to consider.
Because with the fake page that I told you about, I have the screenshots of that on my brother's old phone, and he has his old phone with him, and he's in school right now.
Okay. All right. All right. So at this point, I'm going to let the respondent, Mr. Johnson, do you have any specific questions you would like me to ask her about what she has testified to? Or do you, and remember, this is, and for both of y'all to understand when the other party goes, this is not a point to testify. It's just to ask specific questions about what was testified to. You also have a point to be able to testify and let the court know what you want the court to know.
No, ma'am. Everything she said is not true. Some of it is, I'm not gonna lie. But no, ma'am, if that's how she feel, that's how she feel. I'm gonna just rock with it.
Okay. So you're saying some of it's true, some of it may not be true, is what your
Yes, ma'am.
testimony is? Okay. Do you have anything else you want the court to know?
To be honest, I really feel like because China filed this order a couple days before she had our daughter, she really was just trying to intentionally like not let me have a relationship with our daughter because first of all, China knows how I feel about kids. You know what I'm saying? I got a big heart. She had a daughter before before me and her made a child, she already had one that wasn't by me. And I was trying to do everything I could to help her take care of that baby.
Is that the child she was talking about that she said she was holding when she got knocked down?
Yes, ma'am. But China's not telling all of the story. She's telling some of the story. Like that day that we got to fighting on County Road, I'm not gonna lie. I did raise my hands at her and I regret that. You know what I'm saying? Every day I regret it. You feel me? But before I did that, China didn't tell you that she had lifted up and she slapped me first over the petty argument. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying two wrongs make it right, and I'm not saying I was right. I was in the wrong completely, and I fully understand that. And I'm ready to accept whatever consequence comes with it. But China knows she didn't have to bring like no kids into this. You feel me? Like that's all I was saying.
Okay.
Cause right now, I mean, I've been at the point I really don't even care about contacting China. I don't care about what China's doing. The last time I contacted or tried to contact China was last year in December because god dang, I was trying to figure out what was going on with our child. China was still pregnant and she wasn't letting me know nothing. She wasn't letting me know how the doctor's appointments was going, when the next due date was, when the next ultrasound, nothing. She knew I was excited about it. I wanted to know.
Okay. What about showing up at her work and asking about her? Was that the same thing?
No, I didn't show up at her work. Her job is right down the street from where I used to work. I used to work at Church's Chicken on Memorial Drive because my brother stayed down the street. her job was right down the street from where I used to work. And when I used to walk up the street to my brother's house, I would pass by her job because it's right there. I gotta go through that cut to get up there.
Okay.
And I used to go there a lot to eat. You feel me? Even when she wasn't there, China just trying to make it seem like I only went there when she was there.
Okay. So you're saying you went there at other times too?
Yeah.
Let me ask, what about reaching out to her family members?
Yes, ma'am. I can admit to that.
Okay.
But I was only trying to check on the baby. I was trying to see, did she give birth? Because she never told me. The way I found out she gave birth is when one day I got mad right before I had gotten in a little trouble and went to jail. Right before I went to jail, I had got mad and went down there and I had knocked on the door. I wasn't expecting to talk to China. I was expecting to talk to her father, well, her stepfather. And all I was really trying to figure out was, did she have, same thing I've been trying to figure out for like the past couple months. And he told me she had the baby April 1st. He let me see her and stuff. Well, he showed me a picture of her. I still haven't seen my daughter like in person.
Okay.
And like right now, I'm not gonna say China's lying. I'm not gonna say she's telling the truth. I really don't care about the testimonies. I just want to know if it's gonna be a way I can get a DNA test, legalize my daughter, and be in my daughter's life. I don't really care what China has going on.
Okay. So here's what, so those are different processes, different things. So under Georgia law, until a child that's born out of marriage has been gone through the father has gone through the legitimation process, you don't have any legal rights to the child.
I understand.
So, but that doesn't, so whatever happens today is not going to preclude you being able to go through that process. All right.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I've heard evidence from both sides. I've heard enough that it sounds like this, and I hear what you're saying, that, that, there have been other acts by other parties, but like you said, two wrongs don't make a right. And y'all have a child together now.
That's all I'm worried about.
Hold on. I hear you, but you still got to go through the proper channels to get the rights to that child, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And that child's going to be with y'all. That child is going to be a child for the next 18 years. So yes, I find that there has been, from the testimony from both parties, acts of family violence to support the issuance of this order. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to issue the order at this time. It will be in effect from today's date and will expire naturally on April 26th of 2024. You are not to have any contact with her or come within 100 yards of her. That doesn't mean he can't walk down the street to go to his work. You just can't approach her, come into contact with her. If you see her, you got to walk the other way. Okay. But, and she has sole legal custody of the child under law already. Okay. What, I will add at the end is that nothing in this order precludes the defendant from going through the legitimation process. So he still can go through that process, go through the process. And if you don't have money to speak, if finances are an issue, you can always reach out to legal aid and they can walk you through the process. And so they will take you through the process. So nothing in this order prevents that. And if there are any orders issued in any future cases down the road, that may be grounds for modification of this order. Okay. But at this time, the order is going to be, you cannot have any contact with her or her minor children until you have pretty much gone through that process and gotten an order in that court. Additionally, there will be the Family Violence Intervention Program ordered, which could be helpful going forward. So the first compliance date for that will be May 26, 2023. It will be virtual, and the compliance officer will meet with you in just a moment to let you get started on those classes. And hold on one second. And while this order is in effect, you're prohibited from owning any firearms under federal law. So I will let you unmute because I do see you raised your hand and I appreciate that. Yes, sir.
I was gonna say I have a lawyer, but how do I start the process, the whole, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of new to this. Just like the first and I
don't want you to lie because y'all are all under oath, right?
Yes, ma'am. I signed up for anger management too, so I'm
Okay,
enrolled in
so anger management, that might be in relation to another case you might be referencing. That's a different thing. The Family
Alright.
Violence Intervention Program and the compliance officer will tell you all about it. It's different and can be more helpful. And so he will give you the information on that. And talk to you about whether that anger management I don't think it has to be a certain program to qualify under the law. But I would encourage you legal aid. If you have an attorney, your attorney can point you in the direction of who to talk to about the legitimation process. All right. But
Yes,
even
ma'am.
so, you can reach out to legal aid. You can even just do an Atlanta legal aid search online and they can give you any information. Okay. And there's also a family law center at the courthouse on the first floor that can help you as well.
One more question.
Yes, sir.
Just to be clear, so I know the stipulations. Hey, hold up. Just to be clear, so I can't have no type of contact with my daughter whatsoever until I go through this process.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you don't have any legal rights to her at this point.
No,
Okay?
I understand.
So that's it. So, all right. But you can go through the process, and that would
And get some rights, and then
that will be long term, right? This is just a temporary intervention while to prevent any future volatility
I'm
and
not
danger.
tripping because I know I'm not trying to talk down, but I know what my baby mother's intention was.
Okay, so hold on. So and I know parties come from different perspectives and believe there may be different intentions on what's filed, but I have found that there have been acts of family violence. So to warrant the issuance of the order. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I can respect it.
All right. Well, I do appreciate y'all's both being civil during this process. And I hope that things can get better going forward for the child's sake. And at this point, sir, we're going to place you in a room with a compliance officer to get any information you need. Okay. And also let y'all know that if you don't get a copy of this order, in the next day or two, you should contact the clerk's office and they'll tell you how to get a copy of it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So just hold on. We'll place you in a breakout room, sir.